Jaron Matheson here as the host of the AAC podcast with my co-host Roy Castile.
Here we go.
We're back at it again,
Back at it again. I like that shirt.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you know what's funny is this is the topic that we're going to talk about, the GFCC. And, you know, I got to give credit where credit is due. You came up with this tagline.
I did.
And when you
I
did...
added onto it. You already had the GFC. I added the extra additional C.
That's true.
So I can't take full credit.
Okay. But yeah, what this represents is God, family, country, canine.
Canine. That's the extra C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like how it's highlighted too.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we're All American Canine, so we gotta add canine in there.
So these are the 4 pillars of All American Canine, which kind of holds the company up. And today, I just kind of want to break these down individually, what they mean to us, and the company too.
Let's do it.
Because, you know, we'll just start with the first one here is God. You know, when America was founded, it was founded on principles of men that fear God. And I think it's very important that the first thing, and this is why it's first, the G is where you're getting your morals and your principles from. Mm-hmm. And is it coming from man or is it coming from God? And so for me, in my life, you know, I put God first, and I think it's a very interesting statement because I think a lot of people would say that. And my journey has been very interesting in that putting God first. What does that mean? And I want to break that down a little bit, and then I'm going to ask you about it, what it means in your life.
Yeah, everyone has their own journey when it comes to, you know, their faith, you know.
Yeah. Yep, and that's the beautiful part about life. And that's perspective versus perception, too.
And it's a tough lesson to learn, too. It is tough.
Yeah.
You know, when you walk down that road. Yeah, we'll get deeper into it.
Yeah. I'll give you where it hit me, and then we'll get into you. So putting God first, I've lived my whole life believing that there is a God and a higher power. And I would say in the last 4 years of my life, I'm 36, when I hit 32, when I came to Texas, actually, my whole world got shattered in a different light of who God is. And I lived my life believing God's real, but I was not living my life like he was actually real.
Yeah.
And that's 2 different statements. And I'm still on this journey, and every day I call it surrendering. Is I believe God's real, or do you surrender that he's real? And so it really changed for me when I came to Texas because I lost basically all my financials. Mm-hmm. Everything I built, my real estate portfolio, my Bitcoin, businesses. Oof. I've just lost everything. And so in this new venture with All American Canine, for me, what it really means is actually putting him first and relying on him and actually like letting him drive the ship. And I know sometimes that sounds cliche. It's kind of like funny. It's like Carrie Underwood has Jesus Take the Wheel. That song, right?
Yeah, I remember that song. That's tough to do. That is not an easy thing to do. It's easy to. It's one of those terms like, yeah, either easier said than done.
100%.
Yes,
dude. I remember a couple businesses back, I did it 100% my strength. I said I put God first. I did not.
No,
not at all. Like, it is very easy to say, and I believe very hard to do, especially as men. We like to be the leader. We like to think we know things, and this is where ego gets into play too. But to backtrack real quick is this company, I really do believe, is putting him first and honoring him and not being ashamed to have that. So that's where the G stands for me. So let's break them down one at a time. So let's go over to you. And what does God mean to you? And give me some backstory, man.
So the backstory is I grew up, you know, very heavily Baptist, and I grew up going to church every Sunday, going to, you know, Wednesday night church as well. Was part of the program. I don't know if you probably call it a program, but for kids they call it Awana. It's almost like a Boy Scouts version for church.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never been to one.
Yeah. So
the Boy Scouts version for church.
Yeah,
good way to put it.
We'd wear a vest, and then we earn these like badges and everything. So it was like a different, like a church version of Boy Scouts. So, and I was told about it. And then I would say all these things. I believed in God and everything, and then there was this time where I did get baptized, but I only got baptized because I wanted to jump in that water. I just thought it was really cool because I was like, oh, everyone else do it. I'm going to go do it. But
so they dunked you.
They
and you
dunked
did it.
me.
You just got in because that's what everyone was doing.
That's what everyone was doing.
Interesting.
And then it wasn't until like really, really, really recently when I actually started like asking questions and like, because I always knew of God. I've always said He's there. It's this pastor put it perfectly whenever he was best describing someone going through their faith. It's like, you know of him, but it's like you're like, we're cool. You're right there. Yeah, I know of you. I know you're here. Cool, awesome. And you just kind of go along, but you don't ever get in that same lane with him. And that's where you really have to come to a realization that I gotta get in that same lane, not just get in the same lane, but get in the same vehicle, and not take the vehicle, be in the passenger side, and just go with him, instead of just like, hey, let's go this way, hey, let's go that way. But no, for a long time in my life, I've always gone like I've been in my own vehicle. I knew he was right there. We're just going along this road.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, I like what you said, like being in the same vehicle, not even just in the same lane. Yeah. And letting him lead. You know, it's interesting on that. It reminded me of someone said once, one of the greatest gifts the greatest gift that you can give to God is to live a fulfilled life of the gifts that He gave to you and not waste them. Mm-hmm. Like that hit me, man. Like everybody's created in His image, and everybody has a unique gifting. And I feel like a lot of us, we miss out on that sometimes because, whether it's pride, whether it's ego, whether it's fear of man, whether it's being scared, or like you said, whether it's not surrendering, or whether it's you're not even in the same car. And that statement hit me in the face one day of like, wow, like that is pretty interesting. It's like Alonzo, no, it's Alasso. David gave him a nickname. Is, as my kid, like someone else gave this analogy too, and I've seen it on a lot of videos, but they talk about like, if I give Alasso a gift and he goes and throws it in the closet and never plays with it, how do you think that's gonna make me feel?
Yeah, 100. I completely agree with that, and it's still even a struggle today. I can't even say that today that I'm walking 100% in the faith. And here's the thing, I don't think no one ever does, but it's just like, but I find growth when you realize, yep, I'm doing this, and I'm totally not thinking about Him first. I'm not thinking about God first. And so, just coming to terms and say, hey, Lord, forgive me. I've been kind of like veering away from here. I just want to let you know that I realize that, and continue to keep giving me His faith. And this morning too, I actually prayed this morning, is because there's some struggles that we're going through, me personally, and then also having to do multiple things going on at the same time, and then praying about you as well. But say thank you for the struggles I'm having, and that's I've never used to say thank you for that, but I say thank you for this, because if I wasn't, then I wouldn't be going on this. Your reason why you're going through these struggles is because there is a bigger calling for you.
Dude, we're going to stay on this because that's so crazy that you said this, because the other night, me and my wife Leah and the couple that we were praying with, no, it's me, Leah, Elizabeth, and Ashley. We were praying, and what hit me was to be grateful and thankful for the trials. Yeah. Because what you said, like, if you have a big calling on your life, like, I think part of it is a test. Yeah. Part of it is testing, like, are you ready to be given, whether it's wealth, whether it's, leadership, responsibility, like, you need to go through these things to know that your character can handle it. And I think that's part of the beauty that God created us with free will too, is we get a choice. And I was very grateful and thankful, and I'm like, wow, like 2 months ago, I'm like crying, like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, this is hard. But I think to your point, when you say that, they're like, God picks and chooses people that can get through it, but we still have to choose.
Yeah. And sometimes the way he'll punish you by giving you what you've been asking for when you're not ready for it.
Oh, say that one more time.
Sometimes God will punish you by giving you everything you ask for when you're not ready for it. Like when you have all this money, all this wealth, you're like, I've been praying for this, I've been asking for this, but then you blow it all away. You like it ends up you lose it. And then you're just like, I was like, well, what just happened? What just happened in my life? That's because you didn't put him first. I'm like, okay, you think you can take this on? It's like you with your kids. Like, I want to do this. I want to stay up at night. I want to be able to do all these things. Okay, you really want all these things? Yeah. All right. Well, here you go. And then they're doing all these other things. They're they get it. They're excited for a little while. Then all of a sudden, they're like, you know what? What just happened here? Like, I'm not enjoying this as much as I thought, and I just, you let me have all this ice cream. Perfect. Have all this ice cream. Now it's all gone. And then now you have a stomach ache, and, you're going to suffer for it. Yeah.
It's interesting to say that because as a parent, most of the time I will not give my kids what they ask for, but sometimes I do because like, okay, you asked for it. Let's sometimes you got to let them touch the hot stove.
Exactly.
And I think that's very interesting how you said how like God will do that because I have a story with that. So I used to work for a power company and I would drive around as a meter technician and I just got bored out of my mind because it was just the easiest job ever. Now most people would love it, but I'm so grateful for this job. Don't get me wrong. Paid very well. My boss was amazing. I got to build a business while I was doing it. So like the setup was great. The thing was I wanted more of a challenge. And I remember this like it's ingrained in my head. I remember pulling off to the side and praying. And for me, praying is just talking like this. I'll just be like, God, like I cannot do this anymore. Like I need to get going. And I just started
having like prayers just like this, where I'm just having a regular conversation with him.
Yeah, I think that's what prayer is, man. It's a talk. Like, and actually, let's talk on that in a second. I'm gonna tell a story, but this is a good one. Yeah. Is I remember asking him like, I'm ready to get in the game. I feel like I'm not in the game, and I'm like, I know that I can keep training, but I'm like, I'm bored. Let's go. And guess what happened? I came down to Texas. I lost everything. But with that, though, is I came closer to God losing it because I realized that my identity is not in my money. It's not even in my wife or my kids. It's in God. And so even though I lost everything, I think it was like this stepping stone of like, okay, we're going to put you in the game. You're going to lose everything. But I think during that, it's going to build a character in your integrity. You're going to see who you're really meant to be.
Yeah.
And so I said this saying to you on the airplane down to Florida, you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking back.
100%.
Dude, like right now, I'm
like we're looking at all these things that are happening for us right now, and we're just like, why are we going through this? Why are we having this headache? And then we're just kind of looking back like, oh, this just happened, and because we did that, it led to this.
You know, yeah, and let's touch on that praying subject quick. Is, it's kind of like if we were going to have a conversation, and just like you like God, I pray to you that, that I'm very grateful. It's like me saying, Roy, I talk to you that I'm grateful you're in my life. Like even my monotone voice, I catch myself doing that. I watch people, I'm like, man, God created everything. Mm-hmm. I don't think he wants us to talk like a monotone robot. Like I think he wants to intergage. Or intergage. Wow, that's another word.
Yeah, one of the boys, or not. Well, he can't be one of the. He's a god for sight.
No, but I think he enjoys. I think he enjoys coming down and spending time with us to relate on our own personal level. And so like, if I'm going to talk to you as like one of the boys, like sometimes, not all the time, but I think sometimes like especially when I'm frustrated, I'm like, God, like, what is going on with my life? Like, can we have a chat? Like, please, like, It's like that wrestling with God. And I think there's something to it. And this goes back to what we were talking about, getting things before you want. But I also think God is looking for warriors, and he's looking for mighty men, and he's looking for the people that will stand up for righteousness, justice, and to go fight the good fight. He's not looking for people that are weak.
No,
he's not. And I think a lot of people mistake that. And so like, it's interesting you were talking about your church experience. and you kind of were like laughing this and that, and I'm like, there's so much more to it, and I just love the fact that it's a lifelong journey. But with that is he chooses people, but there's a saying in the Bible, like, I can't remember the verse, but many are called, but few are chosen.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, did I say that wrong? Or many?
I think many are called.
No, many are. Yeah, and
we gotta figure this.
Hold on, I am butchering this one up. Many are chosen, but few are called. I think that one's wrong. I think it was the first one.
Okay.
I think it was the first one.
I'm going off of you on this one.
I got to work on my referencing scriptures. I'm not the best at that one, but I think to that point though is like we get to choose, but at the same time he chooses us.
Man, yep.
And that one we can go
for hours, but we gotta keep going. But yeah, so 100%. That's part of our foundation. Also part of the reason why I'm enjoying to go on this run with you, man. Because I just feel like us holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
At this level, it's ingredients that will make something great. Yeah.
Yeah. Good deal, man. So we're gonna move on to the F part of the pillar.
F. Alonzo, what's F stand for?
Family.
All right.
Alonzo.
My son's over there. He's part of the family.
It's part of the family.
Real quick before we go on there, do you got anything you want to add on God, or you want to pass? Talk in the mic if you're going to talk. You're good.
I'll pass.
Okay.
I can't. Maybe in a little bit.
No, that's good. If you got anything to add on any of these, just feel chime in. But
so we have God, family. So family. Why do we include family on this?
Dude, family is like literally the next most important thing in life.
The biggest thing was that when we both first talked about this brand and where it can go, is that we both agreed that we want our families involved in this.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Yeah. And I think part of it, we use the word legacy too. Like, something with this. And then I think this is what excites you too, is like, I don't know if I want to sell this company. Maybe we do. Maybe we don't.
Maybe we don't.
But I think there's something fun about building a legacy with family that can take it on. Like, who knows what Alasso wants to do. But like, you got a son too. You got a daughter.
Yeah.
And, I think there's something special about building stuff up and passing things down to your lineage. And this company, I think, is special in that way, that it has the opportunity. And I've been a part of many things, and I've never been like, oh my gosh, I want to pass this on to my kids. This one? Yeah.
This one, yeah.
I want to.
Oh man. The epic journey that they done, if it's done right, if it's created, put together the right way, they'll take this and run with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's a big one for me, but family is up here, especially as number 2, because it starts even with with God. Is God created us to be in union and have a family, and that's what's more important than the business is your wife, your kids, or your husband and your kids, and without that, life is what, like, and there are exceptions to the rules, and I'm not saying like, you can't have a fulfilled life if you don't have a spouse and you don't have kids. I'm not saying that at all, but I do believe that there's something very special of sharing your life with somebody.
Yeah.
And I think it's just really important that we put that such at a high level, because I've lived a lot of my life as an entrepreneur in business, and I spent more time building that business for somebody else, and I would sacrifice my family.
Here's an interesting question. Did you always knew that you wanted to have a family when you were younger, before you got married, before you have kids? Did you always knew that you wanted to have a family?
No, this is funny. No, it's even funnier. I didn't think I'd get married.
Really?
No,
not at all.
I didn't think I really would. No, and I got married at 21.
So I was 25, but growing up, I knew I wanted to be a dad. I knew I wanted to have a wife. I knew I wanted to have kids. I always knew. That was always part of my plan. And it's like, it's going to be the greatest journey and also the hardest journey for you to go on.
Yeah.
Having a family, doing that. And I'm not the perfect husband. I am not the perfect father, but I mean, I've had my own issues, but thank you to, again, going back to God, I've been able to do what I can with what I have, and I'm just asking just to continue. Again, going back to like saying thank you for the struggles, because I stopped asking, taking these things away, and I started asking for giving me just guidance, because I want to go through these struggles. That way I know I have a formula and a system on how to handle these things with my kids, with my wife, with different scenarios. Whenever my kids choose to marry and bring on their kids, I'm learning constantly. So I always knew I wanted to have a family.
Yeah, man, that's so funny. I was in a cool band, and I was kind of like a nerd on playing computer games, and I had no interest in girls, and which is hilarious. I'm 19, and I even told my parents, I'm like, I don't think I'll probably get married. Like, I was like, and part of it was I was kind of lazy in the aspect that I didn't want to pursue anyone.
Yeah.
Like, as I saw the dating game, and I'm like, I'm not interested in playing these games. And so, what's funny though,
you're a unique situation. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, my story's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's probably not that I didn't want to get married or have a family. It's what I witnessed around me, I wanted no part of. And so let me rephrase the question.
There's a big topic of, just your surroundings as well. We're
going to do another episode on that.
We'll go deeper into that. But man, that one I have a lot to say about. But go ahead.
So that was probably the biggest thing is I witnessed all my friends, the hookup culture, and just like moving all over the place on people.
The hookup culture was big even during when you were dating?
Well, I didn't really date. But
during those.
Yeah, my whole high school. All I did is.
Yeah. Hookup culture is bigger today. That I honestly don't consider my generation like where we actually had like real hookup cultures, but like not like today.
So, and then even just dating, and you're just going through different people so fast, and I was like, I don't want to play this. I'm not playing this game. And so in my mind, it's like I had to play the game to try to find somebody, and I was like, I'm not doing it. So, just real quick, I never actually even told my wife that I liked her. I told her I loved her first, which is for a whole nother episode.
Ooh, that's showing your cards.
I know.
You don't play the game. But what's funny is that you're a poker player, and you're like, you were very strategic, but when it comes to this, like,
I was all in.
I was like,
I could lose the hand.
To me, there's always going to be a game to when it comes to dating, when it comes to finding your spouse too as well. I mean, the game doesn't end. And I think you still have to play the game even till today. But you're not doing it. Here's the thing. You're not playing zone anymore. You're playing man to man.
Yeah.
Now that you're married, yeah. I just so you know, honey, I'm only man to man. I'm not playing zone here. So, yeah.
You mean man to woman.
Man to woman, exactly. Woman.
Make that clear.
Man to woman.
Clear. But no, I think another point too with your family is if you and your spouse put God first, you end up in a completely different relationship, and that's a work in progress, man. And I can say that I've been married 15 years, and I didn't do that a lot. I had him there, but like the last little bit of our run here in the last few years, our marriage is completely different, and I love it. It's amazing.
It'll be 13 years for us coming up this August.
Yeah. And I really believe there's way better days ahead. And I think it's the same walk with God, right? Your walk with your spouse is it can be, and I think this is what's sad about today's culture, I'll say, about marriage, is they say ball and chain and this and that. I'm like, it does not need to be like that. In fact, it should be the opposite of that.
I think it's so commercialized too, and it shouldn't be a ball and chain. No, like I think that's a good way to really make first of all, deter a person from wanting to get involved with a spouse, and second, it can really break a man down too as well.
Well, and then this is a deeper subject, which I love. We're going to keep going on these pillars as we go.
If you like this, let us know in the chat.
Yes.
I mean, we can go further. You just let us know.
I can keep going deeper, but I think this is why the family is so important to the All American Canine as a pillar, because there's a war against family in the world, but especially right now in America. They're trying to break down the man, which is the head of the household. They're trying to weaken him. Okay, you take that out, they're trying to feminize women, which is not bad. Women should be feminine, but they're trying to go to an extreme on both sides, male and female, and they're trying to degrade them. And if you do that,
they play a pivotal part. They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 thing.
It is 50-50.
So this whole thing of, man being the head of the household and all this stuff, like it's 50-50. We just have different roles. And so going back to why it's so important for me and to bring the family into All American Canine is because it's literally part of the pillar of how God created us. So that's why it's part of the pillar of AAC. And what I mean even in depth with that is there's like a spiritual war going on right now to take away the family. Because if you can take away the family, then it even goes into the next one with the country. You can take down a country. Because if you have healthy families, if you have healthy men that are the head household, you're gonna have a healthy community. If you have weak men that are running the household, it's gonna tear everything down. And so if you can break the core, and this is why Hollywood, why they degrade men. There's sex everywhere. There's pornography. It breaks men down.
Yeah.
And then that breaks the family down. So there's this. It's such a huge part of who we are as humans. That's why I wanted that as up there on the second one.
Yeah. Family is very important, especially when you're going to build a business like this. Like, again, we're building for legacy. And so all on board, God, family. What's the other C stand for?
Well, I want to add one more thing to family,
go
too.
ahead.
And then we're going to go on the next one. Family doesn't mean just blood. It doesn't in my book.
Amen.
You can build brotherhood, sisterhood. You can bring family outside that you build outside of just your bloodline. Now, obviously, your bloodline is your core family, because it's your heritage, it's your family. But like, family is more extended than that too. You can build bonds with people and build a life. Because I say it's, I have family and friends, and I'm like, I consider some of the people that are not even from a bloodline part of my family. I really do. So I think it can go deeper.
Yeah. Trust me, we're brothers. We're brothers all the way.
Yeah. So country. This
Country.
is a good one, especially what's going on right now.
This is we're in the great country here in the United States here. Love this place, especially. I'm born and raised here in Texas. Love my Texas. Love my country. I mean, this is where I'm going to stay. I'm always going to be here.
Dude, I love it. I've been here in Texas 4 years, and being a part of the United States of America, I came from Minnesota to Texas. Completely different. It's interesting how the states have their, how they can dictate and make their own laws and stuff. And that's the beautiful part about America is you can kind of go to different places and there's different laws and there's different things that are happening, which is pretty cool. But I think the biggest thing for me on country is I really do believe God created this country, not man. And the Declaration of Independence is literally, when they say it's one of the best documents ever created, it is, because it's a freedom aspect that no other country has.
Yeah. And
I think it's sad that most people, especially kids in the new generation, they don't understand the impact of our forefathers did to get this set up.
Yeah.
And and those men, they were broken men. They really were. They were really messed up.
They were not perfect.
No. But the thing that I love about our country is we are a leader. Like, people look to America, I'm just gonna say, to go get shit done. They do. Like, if there's a war going on, they don't call Great Britain. They call America. They don't call Russia. They call America. and I'm not one of those guys who's like, let's go get involved with everything in all these countries. I'm not.
No,
I really don't like it.
I don't like it either. I like where we got to handle our own stuff. We got to handle.
Yeah, there's a mess going on right now. But the whole point of I was saying that is, people look to us, and the thing is like, if America falls, the world will be different. Now, America's got its own corruption that's insane. The whole politics game is terrible on the left and the right. There's just so much corruption. But what America represents, they're trying to destroy because of what it actually stands for.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't want people to forget.
Well, I mean, we also got to remember, like, if you look at it from a parent's point of view, how young is America? We're freaking young.
We're little kids.
Yeah. Like, when America's, I mean, we're in that adolescent stage right now where we were born way back, and then like kind of like learning how to walk, learning how to stay. We're doing good. We're making good choices. We're trying to make everyone feel proud of us, that we're on our toes, and now we're venturing out and testing ourselves. We go and do this. We go and do this, and then like soon we feel like we're invincible now, but we're starting to figure out we're like there's a lot of things wrong with us that we got to fix ourselves.
Yeah, it's interesting because they have that saying, like, put your own oxygen mask on first when the airplane's going down. Like, I feel like America is not putting its own oxygen mask on first right now. We're trying to solve all these other problems, and we got our own issues. But the interesting part of all that is a lot of people want to put it on, but then you got to play the political game. So there's this whole system that you have to play in this game that's...
Again, another rabbit hole that we can completely go down,
Yeah.
but I love this country. It's the reason why, we built All American Canine, because we love the feel of the hunt. It's here. We can go all over this country and enjoy some great times, some great people, be around the canines, be around hunters, respect to our men and women, and serving in our military. But this country has done a lot for us, and we just got to keep fighting for it.
Yeah.
And we won't stop.
No, and that's why I love the name, is it's in the name, All American Canine.
Yeah.
It's great. And the thing
dog fight. It's all about the dog fight.
Yeah, man. The one thing I'll add to that too is that I love is America has the most unique amount of people here. The melting pot, right? Like, it's a place for people to come and have freedom and be yourself, your unique individual. It's beautiful. Yeah. You can have different religions, different backgrounds, different cultures, and yes, we fight. But at the end of the day, like, what other country has a place like this that you can come and do that? There isn't.
Gotta love our sign.
I know. We got to get that thing fixed. But all right, canines, my man.
Canines. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's my first dog was a golden retriever.
Yeah.
Named Mandy, and I loved that dog, man. It was so fun just throwing the baseball and just cuddling with Mandy just as a little kid, and the dog just loves to play with you. There's something about having, like the man's best friend, but like as a kid, it's different than being an adult. I just have these memories, and it's just so joyful. So I just love what dogs bring, completely different than cats. Yeah. And I love dogs way more than I love cats, but man, there's something special about dogs.
Yeah. So it's a little bit opposite for me, where we had dogs in the family, and I enjoyed them. I loved them, cared for them, but I didn't start respecting, the dogs until I was much older, and then really understanding. Because we spoke about this with Wolf, one of our guests that was here, is that having a dog as an adult, like that teaches you a lot.
Yeah. On
what kind of person you are and things that you're messing up on, because the dog will. You can let that dog kind of be lazy, gain weight, and just not care about it, and then they don't respect you as much as well. You're just kind of like a cool buddy, but when you really stay disciplined, you take them on the walks, you make sure that they sit, they don't scratch up the door, they don't scratch up furniture, they're not biting people. They also have to have a certain level of respect for you, respect for the household, respect for your kids, and so that's when my connection with a dog with a canine really, really grew.
Yeah. Dude, I've had a handful of dogs, and I think my favorite one was the last one that I had. It was Sky. It was a blue heeler Australian Shepherd Jack Russell mix.
My kids want a blue heeler, just because there's a cartoon called Bluey, and we're big Bluey fans. I know you haven't seen it, but they have, all it is about this heeler family, and they go on some crazy adventures on there. It's hilarious. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I actually had to give her away though, because when we came to Texas, I was moving to an apartment, and I just couldn't do that. And it was really sad. And but my friend, he had a cattle farm, 80 acres or more probably, and we went and visited her one of the last times we were up there a couple years ago, and loved seeing us. But right when we were going back to our truck, she did not want to come. She just started running because she didn't want to get taken back to us because she just loved where she was at.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? We definitely made the right choice of getting her on a farm, even though it was sad to kind of like leave the family. Because there's just certain types of dogs where I'm like, I can't do that to this dog. And so that was really tough. Because they're literally part of your family, man. Yeah. But man, I love dogs. They're just so fun to play with, and they're so loyal. You can do so many things and be yelling this and that, and all they want to do is just come love on you, man.
Oh, they'll detect when you're suffering too.
Yeah.
Man, that ability, and it's priceless. You want true loyalty? Loyalty is within your dog, for 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my dog right now, his name's Dipper. He's a little Boston Terrier. He's mixed with something else, but my wife got him from rescue. But yeah, his name's Dipper. This dog, like he's different as far as touching my heart on how he is, because we wake up every morning. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll wake up and get ready to go for my workout, and then he's with me this whole time getting ready and everything. He'll go back to bed after, he knows when I'm leaving to go work out, and he just goes right back to bed. But when I come home, he's back with me again. I'll be working at home, and he's sitting right there. He doesn't want to be around no one else. He's just right there with me. He just wants to be close to me. So that guy, 100%, I'm going to be sad whenever he does go.
Yeah, man.
He's getting up there in age too.
Well, that's partly why also we created All American Canine, is the health of dogs. If you can get a couple more years out of your dog, because from a human standpoint to a dog, it's that 7-year, age difference that they talk about, 1 year, 7 years. And that goes back. Now, we don't make dog food, but that's where it starts, their main nutrition. But that's what these supplements help with these dogs is, it's the same as us, right? If we don't eat healthy, there's exceptions to the rules. Mm-hmm. But the generality, and I'm coming up with some funny words today, is
I'm over here just nodding and agreeing with you whenever you're saying stuff, because I'm like, what are you saying?
I know, right? I believe everybody understands what I'm saying with that, but is, you got to take care of yourself. And that's one thing, is the longevity of a dog, getting another couple years out of it is huge. And a lot of it all starts with the nutrition side.
Yeah, and that's relatable to, if you're a hunter and you go on the hunt, I've watched all these different different videos on their dogs. They go, I just want to help my dog, Rusty, just be able to go and get that last duck or get that last hunt, because they want to be out there. But they're getting up there in age. They shouldn't really be out there, but they just want to go because they love it. They love being around you, and so they want to get that last one. And especially with police canines and military canines, they want they want to be out there with you. They're there to protect you as well. But they love you so much that they're willing to put their lives on the line for you.
Yeah. That's the loyalty part. And they want to go, and if you leave them behind, they're sad. But like you said, eventually they can only do it from a physical body standpoint, and then there has to be a retiring part. They can't go do those things. Yeah. So, well, dude, that's the 4 pillars, and I'm so excited because we're gonna be breaking these 4 down quite a bit. Yeah. In depth moving forward.
You'll start seeing a lot of this being incorporated, when we're speaking to other guests and stuff like that, just because these are just our where we feel that this brand's really taken us, and very excited to go on this run and having this being part of our core values.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be good. So, all right, until next time.
We'll see you soon.
Check out.